Hello everybody, welcome in, take a seat. I am doing a what's in the bag video for February 2024. Now, if you know me personally, my bag changes up quite a lot, so these videos are probably going to be pretty frequent. But let's just jump into it. So first thing and most notable is the camera. I got it attached to my paratrooper here. I just stick a couple of the legs through the slots here. It just makes it easy to record. And this is just a camcorder I have. Helps with the zoom. I don't even remember what it is. It's like a Sony, what is it, like, I don't know. Sony Handycam, one of those. Got a nice mic on it. But yeah, so we'll just jump into the actual discs. For my putter pouch, that's all of them. Oh yeah, and as you can tell, I have a lot of patches on my bag. I'll show that off a little bit. Got them all over the place. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully that doesn't fall. In fact, I'll set that on the ground so it doesn't fall. So starting out with our putting putter, Castplast Rico in K3. I really love this plastic, and I've never been a fan for very deep putters, so these are the ones I go with. Not that they help me at all, because I suck at putting, but these feel the best in the hand, and I think that's what matters the most. So Castplast Rico. Continuing on with Castoplast, we have a K1 Soft Berg. This thing is perfect for just some flick forehand up shots. This thing goes dead straight, basically. Actually, it goes on whatever angle you put on it, but it's very different from the next disc, which is a K1 Glow Berg. Now, this one has some fade to it. That's why I got it. But yeah, it's very stiff compared to the K1 Soft. Like, this thing is just rubber, and this one actually has some stiffness to it. Really like this one. Good for some shots that are into the wind, but I still want a Berg. Berg is great if you need to like hit the brakes on a short shot, so I have two of those in the bag. Now, this one you'll know from either my last video or my next video. I don't know which order this is going to come out in, but this is the MVP Watt. This thing just goes on whatever angle you put it on. I got this to replace my Proxy that eventually died on me because it's just so warped that it's not worth throwing anymore. This thing's kind of tough sometimes. You got to be really perfect on the angle control, but it's really good to learn on. So it's staying in the bag for now. This one is a staple in the bag. A Glow Envy. This one glows blue, I think, and this is from the OTB Open from last year. Went the last 2 years in a row. Had a great time. But this one is Total Eclipse, and this one's got a good amount of fade, but goes forever. I love how far the MVs go. Best throwing putters in the game. MVP makes them. Actually, no, this is Axiom. Axiom makes them. You know, that brand, that whole lot of brands. And then the last one is not really a putter in my putter pouch, but it stays there because it needs the help to stay somewhat flat, and that is a Super Soft Justice. Now, this thing, when it says super soft, it's super soft. This thing is dummy overstable too, so I really like this for shots that I need to stick, because it'll just stick to the ground, won't go anywhere. And man, I can't think of anything else. This thing's just a great disc to have, especially when you're playing some like hard pan where your disc will slide away really easily. Moving on to our main compartment. Pull out the first three. So starting off with our flippy putter, we have a Deputy. This thing flips over so easy. There's really no other use for it other than a shot you need to get like 50 feet right on a backhand, because I don't have much of a forehand. This thing's really temperamental at times, but if you throw it like super high, you know it'll turn over. So at least you know what to expect with it. It's gonna go right no matter what. Next we have a Moonshine Sake Bomb Slammer. Unlike the Deputy, you know, well, I guess what's the best way to put this? Now, like the Deputy, you know exactly where this is going, and this is going dead left instead of dead right. Yeah, that's the way I wanted to put that. This thing is so overstable, but I love it. This thing gets to the ground, it fights to the ground, and you can throw this into like a tornado and it'll still fade. So love this disc for some short upshots. This is a Dynamic Discs Culprit. This one is a gift from my buddy, and I love the stamp on it, by the way. Pretty sick. This is from when they first came out, I believe. And this is basically a dynamic disc zone. It's just got a little bit more dome on it. I don't know if you can tell that, but a little bit more dome, so it's a little glidier than a zone. It still fights to the ground left, though. Has a good amount of fade. I throw this when I need a little bit more distance on my shots. This thing goes about 200 feet for me. So yeah, nothing more to add on that. Next few, we got some mid-ranges. My mid-range lineup, starting with the Understable. This has been my Understable go-to disc for a long time now, and it is the Uplink. The Uplink is perfect for those left to right shots that you just need to careen right, and it's much like the Deputy, just goes a lot farther, so you can trust it. Next one we have is a newer addition to the bag, is the Discmania MD1. This is my dead straight flyer. Haven't had it for too long. Have had only for like 2 weeks or so. But this thing will just go dead straight, I guess. You can flip it up a little bit, but it doesn't go too far off course if you do end up missing your angle by a little bit. So really, and I really like the color of the plastic on that one too. Okay, this disc is one that's quite unconventional, and it is the Lone Star MIDI. Now I did have a Innova J in there in the bag to fill this slot, and this slot is just like the straight to just a little bit of fade. But I didn't end up liking the J. The J just did not have the fade that I wanted, nor did it go far. Like, it just did not fly. It was the weirdest thing. But I got recommended this disc from a guy at one of the disc golf shops, and I ended up really liking it. It's got a good amount of fade to it, but it still goes really far. The profile is very slim on it, which I end up liking these slimmer profile midis for whatever reason. I just don't like a deep dish disc. That's why I like the MVP Axiom throwing putters, because they're nice and shallow. But yeah, that's my little bit of fade MIDI. Now on to the very overstable MIDI. This is a new addition into the bag as well, because Vista Del Camino was mad at me for whatever reason, and I threw a couple discs in the drink. This one is the Dynamic Discs Justice. This one replaces the Pursuit that I've been using for the better part of the last year, and really sad about that, because if you remember that short I put up, that thing was good, man. But I guess you can't go wrong with the Justice. I could get another Pursuit, but you know, this is what they had, and it is what it is. I'm a bit bummed about that one though. All right, moving on to our, we'll go 6 through 9 speeds. Next up, we have a Kastaplast Stig. This one I originally bought because I needed something that would flip up and over a little bit, but now it's just kind of lost in the bag. I don't throw it very often. I really like the color on it, like the mint blue, I guess you call it. But yeah, this thing just flips over. It doesn't burn on you, but it's still okay. 6.5 -1 or 6.5 -2.1. It's got a spot in the bag for now. This is a disc I picked up yesterday. I bought a brand new Virus not too long ago, but it was a little too stable, so I bought a beat up Virus that was in the used bin. I haven't thrown this one yet, but this is supposed to be my roller disc that you need at quite a few courses around here, oddly enough. Nothing much more to say about it. It's supposed to be a roller disc. Next up we have, I believe this is the longest tenured disc in my bag, an Innova T-Bird. Sorry, I had to cut that out. I forgot my name was on the back of this one, so don't want to show you that. Anyway, T-Bird. This thing goes pretty much dead straight. You just gotta put a tiny bit of hyzer on it, but this thing bombs. You can get it on an anhyzer angle and have it hold that, but it's a workhorse fairway driver. So yeah, really good disc there. Next up is a new disc to the bag as well. We have a Discmania Instinct. I believe that's what it's called, Instinct. And I'm trying to cover up my phone number there. But Discmania Instinct. This is a 7502. This was to replace, what was this replacing? This is when I lost my, what was it, Trespass? But I wanted something that was a 7-speed. So yeah, decided to go with this. Fades pretty reliably. Haven't thrown it a ton yet, so can't give you a full review on that disc yet. Next up is the Dynamic Discs Vandal. This one is a bomber of a 9-speed. This thing, you can pretty much flip over and it'll hold a turn, but it'll come out of it pretty late in its flight. I can get a good 320-ish feet out of this, but I really love this thing. It's got some great lines that you can throw with it. Next, we have our Fusion Felon. I think everybody should have a Felon. 9-speed, but with a lot of fade. This thing's pretty beaten in now. It used to be way more overstable, but now I think I can get it pretty far out there before it'll fade out. There's nothing wrong with that. This thing glides a lot farther than it did when I first got it though, so I would highly recommend everyone get a Felon. Moving into our distance drivers. First we have our Halo Shrike. This is pretty much my max distance driver. This thing is a -2.2, I believe. Yeah, 12, it's a 13-speed? 13.6, -2.2. Yeah, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head most of the time. But yeah, Halo Shrike. I can put this on a little bit of anhyzer and throw it way up in the sky, and it'll turn and it'll fade come out of it, and it's the perfect flight for what I need it to do. Love that disc. Next up we have our Halo Wraith. This is the second longest tenured disc in my bag, and it used to be black around the rim, but I don't know if you can tell with the lighting here, but it's like a dark green now. I don't know why that happened, but this thing is a laser beam. I love this thing. It used to be super overstable, but I've gotten it beat in nicely now to where it's just dead straight, and then it just has a little bit of reliable fade at the end. I don't even think I can force this over at this point because it's just so perfect on that dead straight line. I don't need to. All right. This is the newest addition to the bag, actually. Alongside the Virus, I bought them yesterday. This is a DD3. This is supposed to be my Destroyer replacement because the Destroyer got eaten by the water at Vista. I've thrown this once, so can't tell you anything about it. Also, love the color. I love these neon green translucent ones. Ooh, good one. Simon Line Time Lapse. This thing is a beefcake, but it's my beefcake. It works out just perfect for me. I think this is my most stable disc in the bag right now. The next disc, it was supposed to be the most stable disc in the bag, but it turned out this one was. Last but not least, we have the Ricky Wysocki Signed Enforcer. This thing is like quickly becoming one of my favorite distance drivers. This thing was supposed to be like super overstable, but I think this run just came out a little bit flippier than what they were meant to be. So I can get this out on a little bit of anhyzer, and then it'll just pop straight, and it'll hold that straight angle for like 300 feet and then start fading. But man, this thing is so fun to throw. If you can get it up to speed, it's gonna go a long way. So that'll do it for all the discs in my bag. And I will go over a couple of gadgets in my bag that I have. First off, we have the Pocket Radar. Pocket Radar is great if you want to get a quick little reading of how fast you throw. If you just press that button there, hold it down, go like that. Maybe it'll show up. I don't think so, but you get the idea. It's great for knowing your speed. I got a bunch of gadgets that tell me how fast and how far I throw. I'm pretty technical when it comes to that. If I can find it. The next gadget, got a rangefinder. This thing just tells me how far I am out from the basket. Knowing your distances is a big part of getting better. Knowing what disc to throw where, it helps a lot. This thing's really dusty. Let's see, is there anything else? Got my minis that I don't use very often. Give me 1 second. Yeah, got all my minis, okay? We got my go-to mini. This is a MVP Nano. Love the color. This is a Berg mini. I didn't end up liking looking down at that for whatever reason. And then we got a knee pad mini from Infinite Discs. Squishy. Let's see, do we have anything else? Oh yes, this is a very important one. We have, if I can get it out of the bag, it's under the camera at the moment. We have a softball. This is perfect for getting discs out of the tree. Nothing much else to it, but put a baseball or a softball in your bag if you want to avoid losing discs to trees. Now, if I had my retriever, I would show it here, but I do not have it at the moment because I left it at home when I went to visit. There's a bit of a story behind that. I left it at the airport. I was going to fly back with it. They already let me back home, fly back home with it. And then they had a problem when I was coming back. They said they wouldn't let me through TSA with it. So I ended up throwing it in a bush outside the airport. And then I had one of my family members pick it up. Probably not the smartest thing to do in hindsight, but it ended up working out. I'm getting it back soon, so pretty cool there. Final thing I can think of is my chalk bag. I guess that's it. February 2024. What's in the bag? That'll do it. Thank you very much for joining me. And hopefully the bag doesn't change too much, but I know it will in the near future.